All right, once again, it's time to give the Kona Wozo a bath. It's not real dirty, but it does need a bath. So we're gonna go ahead and clean it up and get ready for the next ride. Ever since I've had this bike, I've noticed that there's always oil or residue on this joint or this weld joint right here. And I can never figure out where it's coming from. I first thought it was coming from the drivetrain throwing grease or oil up, and it's hitting right up in here. You can see that dark spot. That is where the oil seems to always accumulate, and I'm not quite sure why, so we're going to clean it up, take a look at it a little bit closer, and see if we can figure out how that oil keeps getting at that location. All right, so it's time to give the Wozo a bath. See if we can get her cleaned up and figure out what's going on with the grease spot there. Right now, you can tell there isn't a lot of residue here. I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. Maybe it's got something to do with the dropper post. I don't know. Let's check that out. Well, that didn't seem to make a difference. I'm going to put some soapy stuff right here. See if we can see what's going on. I've got it as clean as I can get it, but there is a crack there. I can see it now. There is a fine crack right in here. From here down to there is where the crack is. I can feel it. And it goes right along here. The dropper post goes up and down. It's putting pressure in there, and then the oil is coming out of the seat tube into the crack. Right now it's not doing anything, but over time it will develop oil here again. So we'll ride it some more and we'll check it out when I get back and see if there is some accumulation of oil or grease, whatever that is, right in this location. And we'll see what we come up with. I cleaned up the frame on the seat tube here, and down here where it was a lot of oil, I cleaned it with alcohol and I put on this blue painter's tape. It's kind of hard to see, but it is almost the same color as my bike. But I'll ride it like this for a while. If I see oil on the outside of the tape, then I'll know it's coming externally. If I see oil under the tape, then I know for sure it's coming out of the seat tube. And when the dropper post is lowered and raised over time, it'll deposit that oil. And if I see oil under the tape, then I know for sure the frame or the weld is cracked at that location. And I suspect it's a bad weld from the factory. Alright, so I managed to put about 50 more miles on the bike since the fat bike at the farm ride, and I have yet to clean it up. Still has cow stuff all over the place and some mud. So I just want to see if there's any grease on the outside of this, because I put this tape on here and I'm not seeing any grease on here at all. Let's pull the tape off and see what's underneath the tape. If there's grease on that joint, that weld joint, then we know that the frame or the weld isn't any good, and I'm gonna have to get a hold of the folks at Trailhead Bicycle where I bought my bike and let them know we've got a warranty issue. Kona has a lifetime warranty on their frames, so we will test that out as well and see what happens. So let's see if we can get this tape off of here and we'll check it out. I just used painter's tape because that's all I had, and it looks like it stayed on pretty good. Alright, let's get the tape off. Well, this may be harder than I thought. There we go, it's starting to come off. Okay. Alright, we're getting close to the weld, which is right here. Let's see if there's any grease underneath there. And I do see some grease or oil, and I suspect that's coming from the dropper post. Whenever I use the dropper post going up and down, so you can see there is some oil accumulated on there. That tells me that that weld is not good. And like I said before, we're gonna have to get over to get a hold of Trailhead Bicycles. Those folks are awful nice, and we'll let them know what's going on, and I'll shoot them an email. I should have wrapped my whole bike with this tape, then it would be a whole lot easier to clean. Got it all cleaned up again. I would highly recommend not going through cow poop if you don't have to. Even for dramatic purposes, it's not worth it. My shed smelled like cow poop for, oh, I don't know, a few days until it dried, and then once I got it wet, I could smell cow poop again. Imagine that! Don't ride through cow poop. It's looking a lot cleaner now. That's the way I like it. Alrighty, so now I gotta go send an email to Trailhead Bicycles and see what they say about my Kona warranty. See ya.